Welcome, I'm Darren, and I'll be your guide today as I rank it's not really the worst insert rookie cards for 1992, but the idea that I had was somebody asked me to look at the rookie cards both in the set and the inserts. And I thought, I didn't want to combine them together per se, but I did want to look at the insert cards in 1992 that were for the rookies, specifically for the rookies. And so most of these are actually really good. It's just that I came up with 10 individual sets. So that splits it into 5 at the top and 5 at the bottom. And so these are the 5 that don't make the top 5. That's essentially what it is. But these cards they're not bad. They're not disappointments. They're just not at the same level. So that's basically the way to look at it. These are the cards that are not as awesome as the better ones. And so there's only one card in this group that is not, the set is not dedicated to rookies, but it was one where it was kind of borderline. So I'll be getting to that because that is in this group. Otherwise, the other 9 sets are all dedicated to rookies, or pretty much dedicated to rookies. And they are themselves not true rookie cards, because the true rookie card is in the set. I'm not going to go into all of that. Inserts are not true rookie cards. They never are. That's just the way that it is. But these are celebrating the rookie cards of these players. So that's what makes these cards distinct and really a lot of fun. So the top of this whole group, number 5, is Wildcard Red Hot rookies. This set is one this shows the conundrum of Wildcard. When Wildcard was created in 1991, it was all about the border. And in 1992, it was still all about the border. And in 1993, they thankfully started to get away from the border in places and try to retool and earn their place in the hobby, but it was too little too late. And with these Red Hot rookies, this perfectly captures the whole spirit of the fact that for Wildcard, it was too much about the border. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad as much as it has a very different feel. It's not as, it just doesn't feel like a typical sports card. It's a very distinct look. And with these Red Hot rookies, the card is kind of a mess, and yet that's actually what makes it work, which is interesting because there are a ton of colors on this card. And I really like the red color that they use for these cards, which combined together make the chaos of the cards actually kind of work with the images. That's what's kind of interesting about these cards, is it actually does work as a tandem in a very ironic way. And not just that, this set also had parallels, which is pretty bold because in 1992, almost nobody had parallels. Wildcard was so ahead of the curve that they had parallels on inserts. They had a silver foil parallel and a gold foil parallel. And when you look at the gold foil parallel of these cards, it just makes it look so much better. So these cards are really impressive. I like them a lot. I don't love them, but to me, when I look at these cards, I go, those are actually pretty good looking rookie cards. So that's where I've got it here on this list. This is not quite at the top 5, but I mean, it's definitely not a bad card. For number 4, I'm going with a card that bounces back and forth on this list every time that I revisit it, and that's the All World rookie inserts. These cards, all right, so All World was just problematic from the outset when they got into doing NFL cards because they had that big American flag on the top to differentiate the NFL from the CFL. And okay, there are definitely a lot of people who are going to love the card because that American flag's on it, but that's the only thing it has going for it. It's overpowering. But the biggest problem that they had with the cards, okay, the flag was the biggest problem, but the thing that didn't do any favors was the fact that it had a little white border around the outside on most of the cards, and that depleted the opportunity that the cards had to work because these cards tended to have really good images. But for their inserts, they got rid of that thin white border, so it's just the flag and a glossy card and a little bit of silver foil for these cards, gold foil for the other set, and that makes these cards work. In fact, when they get the images right, like Von Dunbar, this Von Dunbar card is probably the single greatest Saints card ever. It's an amazing card. Everything is right. He's proportional to the flag, yada, yada, yada. I love the way this card comes through. Now, Carl Pickens, not quite as good. And so that's the thing, is when I look at a card like Von Dunbar, I go, this is an amazing card that is in the top 5. And then when I look at most of the other cards, I go, okay, not so much. But for this card, this shows the way that the regular card set should have been done. Because had they done it this way, All World might have had a chance. They saved it for the inserts, and so they either look good or they have the potential to look good. It's kind of the way to look at it. So I'm putting it at number 4 on this list for the simple reason that they did have a tendency to have some really, really good cards coming through here. Now that is kind of interesting to when I get to number 1, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. For number 3, this is the card set that is a hybrid. It is the 1992 Upper Deck Gold football card set. This is kind of an insert set and kind of a not insert set. It's kind of weird how they created it. In fact, it even is a miniature set with rookies at the beginning. It has a subset, and then it has the regular set. Now, the cards are really good, and I wanted to talk about them in one of the other videos, but it didn't quite make a best of or worst of list. But for the rookies, I wanted to get these in here. So even though this is not the dominant part of the set, I had to get Upper Deck Gold for football. I had to get this in here. So here it is. And the thing with these cards is the cards look amazing. I love the design of the cards, and I think they're probably the best cards in the entire set, except for the fact that they're using the college uniforms. And that is, for me, that's always a no-go. Now, if I'm going to go and look at a college football card set, you got the Wolverines here, you got the Seminoles here, you got the Bruins, and you got the Fighting Irish, and you got all of these teams. If I'm getting into the mood of college cards, okay, I can follow through that. That's fine. But these are pro cards. I want to be looking at Alonzo Spellman and think of him as a Chicago Bear. I want to be looking at Tommy Maddox and thinking of him as a Denver Bronco. And Klingler as a Bengal, etc. That's what I want to be thinking of. And when I look at these cards, they look good, but I can't get into the groove of these cards. And so that's the problem that I have, is this is a really good card, except they didn't bother with images that, at least for me, worked. So that's the problem. I do like the cards, just not the way that it came through. So I'm putting this here in the middle of this list because, I think it's the right place. For number 2, I'm going with NBA Hoops Magic All-Rookie Team. And an all-rookie team is normally looking back at the previous year's rookies. So these are basically like second-year cards. Or I guess, well, at any rate, it's looking back at the previous year's rookies, but in this case, it's looking ahead to the rookies who hadn't proven themselves yet. So it's all the players who Magic Johnson is really excited to see in the NBA. And so with these cards, they're a hybrid of the main cards in the set. When the 1992 NBA Hoops set was designed, it was a hybrid, it was an update of 1991, which is good and all, but 91 wasn't much of a jumping off point. So the 92 cards were a little bit, they had a lot of potential that was not realized. The rookie cards were especially challenging because they had they had a gold print on one side of the card that took up a lot of space. And in this set, they replaced the gold print with gold foil, which looks a little bit better, but it's a lot of gold foil. And so you got to allow the pictures to really come through. And these pictures are, they're bold, but they don't have any of the excitement and the thrill and the allure that I see in so many other rookie cards. And so for this set, I look at it and I go, okay, that's my attitude. I love that logo. The logo is the one thing on the card that works. Otherwise, the card just, for me, really misses out on the potential that this 1992 draft class should have had. So I got it here at number 2. But number 1 is Proline Rookie Gold. And this is a case very similar to the All World, where if the image works right, my word, it works great. Absolutely looks great. Look at this David Klingler card. This David Klingler card is an amazing looking rookie card. One of the best rookie cards of the year. The problem is that that's because the image happens to work right. It's well proportioned, it has good detail, and the colors, everything is so strong that it counterpoints the gold foil, and the gold foil acts as a point of focus, a true frame to the image. In those cases, it's great. But most of the time is really lacking because the images don't tend to really pop out and take over, and the border is too strong. That's the problem that this card set has. So while there are certainly a couple of cards that come out and stand out, unlike All World, where I can definitely give the benefit of the doubt to the cards that don't quite succeed, in this case, I definitely can't do that. It was a design choice that I was not a fan of in 1992, and I'm still not a fan of at this point, and I'm really glad that the David Klingler cards somehow survived and worked out well. So, for me, those are the rookie card inserts for 1992 that just didn't quite hit the mark. Next week I'm gonna do a video that looks at the ones that absolutely did, that were truly successful, and I'm gonna look at how those compare to the best inserts of the year. Any that might contend with any of the top 5 or 6 rookies for 1992. I'm not going to do that here because these are almost all pretty good. So I don't see any reason to try to fit it into the worst of. Yeah, so that's where I stand with this. So if you haven't seen the other videos where I've been ranking the inserts, or ranking both the inserts and the rookies for 1992, definitely go back, check those out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and thank you very much for watching.